Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to your reading space. Hope you are doing well and in high spirits. Thank you so much for being here. Please remember to only take what resonates, leave anything that does not, okay? Also, this is timeless. Anytime you come across this and it resonates, it is for you. We set the intention here for high vibrational truth. We send thanks, gratitude, and blessings to all energies, all facets of source energy, angels, spirits, guides, beings here for the highest benefit of all involved in this space, here in the high vibration of truth. We send thanks and gratitude. I ask that I remain centered in my higher self and my heart space so that I may clearly hear, see, feel, and know the divine messages imparted through me and these tools. Thank you and amen. All right, Sagittarius, what's going on with your energy? What's going on with your energy? Sagittarius watching this. You guys are sometimes a bit hidden. And here we have it. You're a bit hidden, or it's not obvious what you're going through exactly. You could be keeping a process private right now. You could be keeping a process to yourself at this time. This is a process that could bring more fairness into your life, into your world. This could also be that you are having trouble balancing your finances for some, okay? Or you're trying to figure out how to do this because things are a bit out of balance. You're spending more, than you're making type thing. For others, this is connected to childhood, to the mother. So we could be going through a personal process right now, trying to balance out what has been unfair or selective and understand that within ourselves. This can also just be in relationships in general. People who have chosen or been selective or unfair, chosen something over another, especially in your life directly, and how this has unfairly affected you. This could also be with career. It could be with work. We could look at oppressed groups here, or people who have dealt with getting an unfair advantage or disadvantage rather in a workplace or in a career setting, okay? With finances, something like this. I get bank energy, work energy as well through with this. For Sagittarius, we do have big breakthroughs going on here. So this process that you're keeping to yourself, you obviously know the art of manifestation, even if it's just instinctively or intuitively, because you understand that while you're doing this, you want to keep this to yourself, to keep it private, to keep it kind of protected in some way. Even if you've talked to others about this, there's still an energy or an air of privacy around what's going on, okay? Maybe you're not trying to show this, not trying to show your vulnerability or something, or you still need to get things together, get things along in this process before you share it. I like this because what we see is you coming out of your head, overthinking any kind of anxieties, nightmares, worries that you've been having that have been overwhelming. It's like you're releasing some kind of expectation, and you're releasing a lot of this worry and this mental conflict, chaos, or just this overwhelm. You're releasing it. You're releasing it with the illusion of how something should be, or how it's supposed to be, or how something's supposed to go, or supposed to feel, or you're supposed to be happy, you're supposed to have this. This is the only way to have this. This is the only way to achieve what I want, or the only way to, fill in the blank. The only way to have happily ever after. This could be literally with a relationship. It could be with somebody that you, love or connected to. But there's a real release of something that you could have waited on your entire life or a very long time. There's a real release of this, and it's an honest release of this. And with the release comes this massive relief, the release of expectations, and it frees you up more. It frees you up to explore other passions. Are there hard sides to this? Yes, of course. Like most things, like most change, there's a harder side. But what we see is the beneficial side, the really positive, strong, powerful side coming into focus here, where you are able to make fast movement towards new parts, new things, or things that you've held a long time, new old things, especially passions, dreams, other people, other things, okay? There's a real release of the past for Sagittarius energy here going on. And yes, it's an ongoing process. Do we ever fully meet our destination while we are alive and living here in our journey? Probably not. We're always continuing on. It's always a continuation. But this part of the journey, this phase, is very strong and powerful. It's very profound, probably in part because it is connected so deeply inside of you for such a long time. You know, this is something very interwoven into your life. What else is going on in Sagittarius energy? Please and thank you. And of course, there's metaphors. These things can be represented within a situation now, a relationship or something now, but there's metaphors for how things have been around a very long time and how that is so intertwined with your own expectations and ideals and concepts. Again, we could be detaching from a relationship of some kind. In the past year, we have that something came back from the past, so past and even further past, something had already come back around, or you've been thinking a long time about it coming back around. This can also be that you got some kind of a truth or even a half-truth in the past that has affected this process for you. There is something here about really wanting to lay certain things to rest, but also understanding we need to see the truth of it, even to see our likeness, how things are alike. And then this energy of wanting to pull back, wanting not to keep moving forwards, or trying just to escape into a certain routine or mentality, especially when it comes to certain relationships or to things we love, okay? It is very connected. What you make with your money, your career, your home and stability, any of your pentacles, your relationships, your anything that is a pentacles energy, even your health, is very connected to your emotional state of being, where it's at. The more like we are pulling our focus into the past and still fixating and giving energy to these things that have hurt us or frustrated us or made us angry or just that we can't let go of in the past, the more we are just kind of in waiting, in limbo on what it is that we desire in this physical realm. And what do you have to say about that? Any advices or anything to add to that, please and thank you. There's a lot about letting go of control, because at the base, at the premise, there's a desire to control, even if it's in a kind way, even if it's in a way that makes things feel more balanced or more in flow. Ultimately, we've wanted to control something, and we've found our basis, our premise for what strength looks like and means, what it means to have power on how well we can control our reality. And the thing is it's not like that anymore. And that's part of this transition and part of what you're seeing. You also could be seeing the connection between your desire to control and the desire of those who have hurt you also to control in different ways, and what that has done. Even that there could be a toxicity in a way to that, okay? There's also a feeling that of understanding that surrendering and accepting that you're not in control in certain ways, or that it's exhausting to try to be, actually brings that power and that release to you, as well as the manifestation into your reality of all it is that you've really been wanting and desiring. And for a lot of you, it's some kind of stability. It's some kind of pentacles energy, whether it's money or a relationship or a stable home or whatever, but you want that station. Emotional clarity is essential at this time, and things do become more emotionally clear for you as you get more emotional clarity. And we may think sometimes we have emotional clarity, but then we need to go even deeper in. As you get more emotional clarity, which will naturally happen, but also be helped by you, we also get better things in our world, better options, more clear options that resonate more, that feel better, okay? I feel I've seen the Hermit a few times in your reading now. This is about introspection, looking within, looking at the past, illuminating what's been going on inside, and especially spending more time alone to do this. Some of you are single or in the energy of being single right now. And this is a time where you are really using that to reflect, okay? Again, we have some kind of a release going on. This could be of a literal fire sign or fire energy in your world, or somebody who's very controlling or overruling. This is also that part of yourself that wants to control everything and gets angry when things are out of its control because it's afraid. Because it's the kid in you that is afraid, right? It's that part of you that is so afraid that something is going to happen, that you are going to be helpless and powerless, and you're going to lose everything and not have that stability, or that people aren't going to want you or want to be around you because you are just whatever, not worth something, because you don't have this thing that you think you need to have to be worth something. But all you ever needed, Sagittarius, was to be yourself, is to be yourself. The best version of yourself that you want to be, or the worst, it does not matter, just yourself. To follow your truth and to relinquish some of this need to control certain things, okay? Chariot has also shown through a few times here. The Chariot is victory, it is success, it is moving forwards even when you cannot see. It is moving forwards with your dreams, with your balance, with your intuition, with your knowing. Moving forwards on the whim of spirit, in a sense, feeling something that pulls you. There's an Aquarius energy and a Cancer energy strongly to this card, as well as Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and Cancer as well, Pisces. There's something that you're able to move towards that you don't realize you are, and it doesn't require you to be the boss of everything or to be in control of every single step here or to be the ruler of the empire. It just requires you to let go and surrender, because this is where you complete a massive cycle in your life, in your world. This is where something really comes full circle and carries you forwards. This is where you find that thing that you just have endless power to build and focus on in your own space and own solace, in a way, in your own energy, and you're moving forwards. The world is a completion of a significant cycle. It could also be some kind of a commitment, contract that comes through here, and it is leading you to emotional release and into far more satisfaction in your world. There's a strong transition from Seven of Pentacles for a long time in your life, perhaps, not feeling happy with what you've built or satisfied. It's more work than it's worth. This just wasn't what I expected it to be. Is this all there is? This is just not working. To like, I have an idea, it's strong. I have a plan, I have a vision, it's strong. I feel this, it's strong. I work on this step by step by step. I've released expectation. I've released how this has to go. I accept that I simply step by step each day because it feels for me what I need to do, and I'm good at this. And you get this strong emotional release, this strong gift that comes in. You have a second life, an afterlife in this life, a beyond this part here that comes through really strongly. It's very strong, Sagittarius. It's very strong for you. You could be dealing with a water energy or a very generous type of person. This could also be you becoming extremely emotionally mature and stable, grounded, and very, you're still leaving some of your worries behind in a way, but you're very generous. You've always been very generous in some way or another, whether people see that or not. This is also you committing to one road, one facet, one thing in a way, but that is kind of the new thing in a sense, okay? You could also be dealing with somebody who's very loyal, very stable. They could come in after a big change, okay? This doesn't mean it has to be romantic, but this can be somebody that really assists you in a way. I still feel for some of you, this is yourself, you finding stability, you knowing where you want to be and what you want to be, you looking more within and into your emotions and into your water energies rather than looking outside, okay? Long-term investments pay off. Nothing has been wasted in your life, even if it feels like another life long ago, disconnected, whatever it is, it's not been wasted. So we do see a payout of long-term investments. This could also indicate that this water energy that comes in, or this very emotionally grounded and stable person who is very generous, very much a leader, a little bit worried at times, or check in to make sure things are cool, but that this energy is in it for the long term, okay? There's a little bit of an energy of waiting here as we build, keeping ourselves in waiting as we build. It could also be Pisces energy there, but not feeling that super strong. Could be though. But we're building, we're considering options, we're looking at things in a team way. It's all about the journey right now. It's not about the outcome, and at least if that's not where you're at now, it's where you're moving into most likely, okay? All right, thank you so much. Any advice for Sagittarius? Any advice for Sagittarius, please and thank you. Ask yourself an emotional question each day. Ask yourself emotional questions each day, if it feels comfortable for you. Just check in with yourself. Maybe put your hand on your heart when you do. Just check in and be like, hey. And this can be an uncomfortable process for you, but just check in where your emotions are at. Or ask yourself, any question that comes to your mind first, something about how you feel about this or that. or what you feel that your opinion is about something emotionally in your heart. Just start to get that dialogue with yourself little bit by little bit here, okay? Advice is to rest, meditate, perhaps ask for forgiveness even if that's necessary, for your own self, or just ask to forgive certain people, but to rest on something before you jump into it. This could be a truth, this could be some kind of communication, this could be a new beginning with an air energy, or with some kind of a company or something like this. But I feel especially the swords, it's perception, it's mentality. So there's a little bit of an energy. Rather than waiting, it's sleep on it, meditate on it, rest on it. Make sure that you clear out any kind of guilt, shame, heavy emotions that could cloud your better judgment, that you hold especially towards yourself, okay? This is really important, and you can simply ask the angels for this. You can pray for this, ask them, set the intention, whatever works for you, okay? Advice for Sagittarius, please and thank you. Make sure that you're not in your head too much. There's a lot of swords energy here. You might want to write some of this out or release some of this in a communicated fashion, okay? What else do we have for Sagittarius, please and thank you? What other advice is there? Balance, get truth, get balance. Make sure that your communication, when you do communicate, is fair, that it is just, that it is whole, that you feel truly settled about this, and make sure that that's very clear for you, okay? Because you can get some kind of literal justice here through means of communication or expression, or even by sharing your mentality with something, but it needs to be whole, it needs to be clear, because you have a chance to bring and restore a lot of balance, but if it isn't well thought out, yeah, you have a chance to heal. If it isn't well thought out, though, you could have a way of really severing or hurting something as well, and that's okay if that happens. But we just want to throw that out there, that give yourself the chance to really meditate or rest on something first, okay? There is an opportunity for very strong healing here, whether this is healing with a Leo energy or healing between the parts of yourself, with the ego, with the soul, with somebody that you've dealt with. And back to that energy we first discussed in the beginning, you have a real chance to heal. We're seeing a lot of air energy in your reading now. So there could be a need to heal with an air dominant sign. So this can be sun, moon, or rising, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It can also just be a very logical person. This is also you being very logical, very well planned here. So you're both in your heart and in your logic. Logic is like, I'm going to take the time. I'm not going to act on this immediately. I'm going to take the time to meditate, to rest on this, to understand. That's the logical part. I have a plan. But then we're still communicating something from our heart, something that is very strong to our soul, to what we need to say and emotionally, right? For those of you who are dealing or have been dealing in the past with some kind of an air sign that's, there's some kind of pain around this energy or worry or something like this, this is like, just pause, just rest. Try to approach this communication in a fair and balanced way. You have an opportunity to heal with this energy. It's going to be all right. Okay? Any other advice here? Please and thank you. Any other advice here? Please and thank you. Try to look within, not to look for ways to distract outside of yourself, okay? Now is not the time to explore a bunch of new journeys and things outside, that dates, passions, whatever. It's not to say that that's wrong or bad at all, but it is that Sagittarius looks more naturally to be in a hermit energy at this time, in a more reflective state of being, and more dealing with these issues or these matters of communication and perception and everything else. And now it's like not the time to distract the self, okay? This is very interesting. Something will be illuminated or come to light, if it hasn't already, that has absolutely been binding you, been holding you down, been chaining you in. This could be as simple as a habit that you carry that you didn't even realize how much it affects your daily life, to a contract, a marriage, a long time standing deal, a relationship, a mentality, anything that binds you. You're going to have strong illumination on that, and I want to say even freedom from. Okay? This is really a strong, pivotal moment, very strong, pivotal moment in your life. Aries also had a very transformational energy around them, but so far it's just that you two seem to have really strong transformational energies, okay? You could also get freedom or renewal with a Leo energy. It is possible. But here it feels like, it really feels like looking within pays off. not trying to distract right now or focus outside too much right now, and going within. It really illuminates what is going on here. This is also Capricorn energy with the devil too, but you know, it's more just that you could even be bound to money, to work. You could feel like you are, you know, a real slave to money, a slave to work, you know, like there can be a real feeling of, even if you hold yourself there in some ways, that just feeling bound into a way, an expectation, a way something needs to look, maybe a way that a relationship has to look, or what success means, or what a happy outcome means, or what it is you need and how you fulfill that need. So there's a real release, freedom, illumination around this area, and there's a lot of happiness to come from that, okay? Anything else? There could also be something for somebody about sex here, sensuality, and illuminating something that you really appreciate on a sensual level, okay? That is also possible there. Again, we're making movement, more balanced movement, tipping the scales back to where they've been unfair, uneven, where we've ignored, or somebody has ignored us, or certain things were just selective and just out of whack, or even connecting to Mother energy here, even the Libra energy here, just looking at how things have been out of balance and making movement ahead and forwards from that, releasing some of the resentment and saying, all right, here's where we're at now, and here's what I'm going to do with this. There's some kind of a slow and steady movement here towards making an offer or receiving one. This can be a lot of career energy or earth energy. I'm seeing a lot of pentacles here. So, you know, that's our Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus people, but it's also our money, again, our relationship, our wealth, our career, our home, even our health, you know, a lot to do with that. Any other advice? This is also take your time. Take your time with things, Sagittarius. Again, take the time that you need to take with things. You don't need to rush. You don't need to push yourself out there because you're afraid. Try to come at this from a place of absolute abundance and limitless, not lack. So like, you know, I've got, you know, everything. I've got all the time I need. I've got, you know, all the resources I need. It's going to be okay. If this doesn't pan out, I'm not going to force myself or push myself forwards because that's what I know to do, because that's how to be in control of everything. No, I'm only going to go forwards when I'm doing it from a place of some kind of love or inspiration or motivation by love, not by some kind of lack or fear of like, oh, but if I don't do this now, it won't work, or I have to do this for this person, but I don't really want to do this. You know, it's like, no, it's time to choose yourself. It's time to choose you here, and to really focus on that, which can be hard for Sagittarius. We choose others a lot, right? And it's not wrong or bad, but it is important sometimes to choose yourself, okay? So yeah, let your passion, the one that is your big one here, whatever that is, let it guide you through where you cannot see. You don't need to make a decision here. You're not confused here. Things might be blurry for a while. That's normal. They're supposed to be. That has nothing to do with you not knowing what you're doing or where you're going, because Sagittarius, you do know where you're going and what you're doing strongly, okay? You don't have a decision to make. The decision will be made for you, essentially, because your heart is in charge right now. It's in the lead. Your soul is in the lead right now. Communication, when it's time for you to make it, is going to clear everything up for you, okay? All right, Sagittarius, I believe that is what we have for you. I will just look super fast to see if there's somebody that you're dealing with here. Remember, you can always email frequencyoftheheart@gmail.com for personal reading inquiries. Who is Sagittarius dealing with? Please and thank you. Anybody that you'd like to point out that Sagittarius is dealing with? Please and thank you. Anybody you'd like to point out that Sagittarius is dealing with? Please and thank you. Wow, social butterflies. You could be dealing with, again, air energy, somebody from the past, going backwards to look over something. I see air and fire here pretty strongly. Anything else? Who else is Sagittarius dealing with? Please and thank you. There is that air again. It's also about communication, though. It's also about a new beginning in communication, perception, something that could be a double-edged sword. A lot of blue. It's mostly just that it's not so much focusing on a person as it is the act of communication or perception here, okay? But you could be dealing with a younger female. That is possible. It could be somebody's girlfriend, or a sister of somebody, something like that. Doesn't have to be. You could be dealing with a part of yourself that connects to an energy around you, perhaps a feminine energy as well, that you don't appreciate, that you learn to suppress, and this person triggers you, or something triggers you about somebody because it reminds you of a part of your own self that either never got the air to live, breathe, be balanced, or it triggers you. You got to look at why it triggers you, because everything that triggers is also revealing something. You definitely could be dealing with it looks like you're dealing with some kind of a decision or somebody who wants to decide something, but again, I don't feel that you need to actually actively make this decision. You more need to take the action advised from before. Amethyst could be a cool stone for you, by the way. Purple is really sticking out to me. Now it could help you get some information in. Just keep it cleansed. But yeah, there's a real feeling of dealing with a part of the self, but by witnessing somebody else here. And I feel like who is in focus is definitely somebody that is, I don't know, I really get this younger female energy or a sisterly energy, okay? Anybody else you want to point out that Sagittarius is dealing with, please and thank you. Again, there's a lot of focus on balance here, on passions and how our passions can help us balance everything, on the past, on triggers, on that communication, tough communication, but also important communication. Older, I hear older, elder, elderly, ancient times, teenage attitude, blues, blossoming blues, but teenage blues. I feel like this is a message around what has happened in your own life. There's something about how some have an advantage that you just didn't. Again, we're dealing with all swords here. You're really dealing with primarily air energy here, or you're just dealing with entirely communication and mentality. You could be dealing with arguments, confusion, and fighting. You could be dealing with wanting to fight with somebody, or somebody wanting to fight with you, like verbally. You could be dealing with a part of you that wants to fight against things that were said or happened in the past. You could be dealing with somebody that wants to fight something that's been going on in the past. You could be dealing with somebody else that also wants certain kind of control. You butt heads. Whatever and whoever this is you're dealing with, you could withdraw from building something with them, from working with them, something like this. And again, you're going through a reevaluation process. All this tells me on who you're dealing with is the same messages that we already went over in your reading, essentially. So I really see this as being basically the same. So it's more about the energy this time around. So Sagittarius, that is what we have for you. Gosh, I guess we will grab you one more, like a closing oracle. For some reason, this reading wants to just continue. Closing message for Sagittarius, please and thank you. Closing message for Sagittarius, please and thank you. Heal. It's beautiful. I got this card out today in my morning draw. It did come out a bit reversed, and it came out by the citrine here and the candle. So we have to read that too. Citrine is a stone it's a very happy stone. It's also abundance. It can even help with financial wealth, but it's very much a high vibrational stone of positivity. You never need to clean it. Kind of holds the sun's light in it in a way. It's just very uplifting. And by the candle, I do look at the candle as, of course, fire energy, but also our passions and illumination sometimes, right? So the candle right here. So this is kind of the feeling of falling out reversed. It's like, this is the way to heal. The way to heal is to explore those unexplored passion, or that unexplored passion that we were looking at. That line, that thing that you know is a draw for you, but you maybe haven't explored yet. It's to get in touch with a more optimistic energy that fuels you, that supports you through the passion, through the fire, through your fire as well, releasing your fire. Fire is also a very renewing element. It's something that can burn a forest down and make it new in a way. Even though it's a destructive energy at times, it's an important destructive, it's essential. It's very cleansing as well. But there's something about the illumination, the passion, that is letting you know that it is time for you to heal, that you it's okay to heal, it's good to heal. There's something about being gentle with yourself here. There's something about asking for help, and there's especially about healing the parts of you that you deem a monster. These parts of you are more gentle and important than you know, and what feels out of balance, or like it's in resistance, or like it's blocked or stopped, lines of cash flow, whatever it is for you, these are the parts of you that are suppressed somewhere in the things that you've cast off as bad or wrong inside of yourself, or that others have, and you've simply perpetuated. But that's where that energy lies. Let's say you have trouble to make enough money, or to bring the kind of cash flow in that you want to bring in, for example. It's a more material example, but let's just say, well, there is a part of you that doesn't feel worth any more than what you're bringing in, or worth stability, or doesn't feel, or there's a part of you that feels in a way that it's been pushed down because it's not valued, not valuable or something. And it is in this part of yourself that ceiling for what you're able to make, hold, sustain is resting, is it's like, as soon as you come into balance and accept this part of you, all of a sudden everything, it shifts, it starts to transform, things change, because that's the part of you that now feels re-inspired, and it says, I forgive you. Do you forgive me? Like, I love you. You love me. Like, we're in this together. I'm going to help you. And then you start to align. That's what alignment is. And if it's not in your true heart or your soul's alignment to make money, then, and for most it's not, then no, of course that's not going to be the main focus. What's going to happen is, when you come into alignment, you're going to respect yourself enough, or have enough validation to follow your passion. The thing that maybe is crazy to you, or that goes out on a limb, to invest in yourself, to go for your dream. And money isn't going to matter in the same way, but it will come. It will come to support you. It will come to support your heart. It will come to support your alignment. What you need will come. What you need is already here, but you'll see it in your world. But it's a process, and so much of it is about healing. And it's allowing yourself to reach out and be healed and receive that healing, especially from parts of yourself. It's about acceptance. It's many, many different things, but a lot of this is based in your throat chakra. It's based in your communication. So there's some kind of communication that brings healing, that brings the acceptance, okay? And this can be communication of any kind, verbal, written, music, like even drawing, like a form of communication, but it is communication, and that's where a lot of this healing is. And there's a real acceptance of this part that wants to be had here, of a big part of you that could have been building for years, So anyways, all right, you guys, we send you lots of love. Take care of yourself, Sagittarius.